G'day, Regular Radio regulars. Welcome to the November 2019 podcast. And what a podcast we have lined up for you.
We have a bunch of super cool, amazing, talented, creative artists assembled all for your listening pleasure.
Suck up much. We do have a large number of tracks though to get through this month with a few regulars and some newcomers to the podcast. Speaking of newcomers, we have one of our interns in the studio tonight. Coben, welcome.
Hi, regulars.
Don't sound too enthusiastic, buddy. You'll break the microphone.
Thank you so much for joining us, Coben. Have you enjoyed being involved with the Regular Radio crew so far?
Absolutely. It's been the time of my life here.
What has been the most exciting thing you've worked on?
I'd say the Lantern Tour interview last month was a really interesting interview.
Yeah. Totally get that. Yeah. Well, as usual, we have Lil C with some juicy goss. We are so happy to have Mr. Seanny Millar back to masturbate. Woohoo! With our very special feature artist of the month, Mr. Casey Barnes.
Yes, one of our oldest regulars, Mr. Barnes, is finally here on Regular Radio telling us all about his fine self. And we caught up with the gentlemanly scholars at Fallon's Brewing Co. in Brisbane to learn about beer and, of course, beer-related things.
Now, I have a question, JD. Are the rumours true?
No, I just like women.
No, I heard that Dalton's back this month.
Mr. Whiskey. You'll have to wait and find out.
Okay, well, let's get into the music. Let's get regular. These guys are definitely one of my favourite bands of 2019. Sweet and Juicy are back, and this is their song, No Rocks.
Oh, baby. It's dragging across. I see your mind flip-flopping like a foggy. Like you never had a wet dream. Like you never had doubts. Your flirts are all the damn same. How your hips don't rock. They don't. I think it's time for a drink. How about a whiskey no rocks? I see that look in your eyes, don't tell me twice, just take the lead. Make me a servant to your every need, I'm on my knees. Please, I need your love, I want your love, I need your love, I want it. Ha! I see your brown sips up in like your knees will give out. Like you never had a good dream. Like you never just shout. Your flirts are all the damn same. Yes, you is. Yes, you is. How you shake when you're done. I think it's time for another drink. Whiskey no rocks. Well, I see that look in your eyes, don't tell me twice, just take the lead. Make me a servant to your every need, I'm on my knees. Some people think that in the moment they stop. I'm asking, begging for a chance to make you wobble when you walk. Please, I need your love, I want your love, I need your love, I want it.
Keelrider from Iceland are up next with their slow and tantalising track, Stay. Well, this track is a little groovy and sounds a little familiar to us. The F-Bots are back with Firewall.
nothing at all. In the year 3030, better recognize living like a droid's not a normal life. Can't you see you should do what you wanna do? You wanna leave and it's chains that you're breaking through. You wanna go, then get out of town. They are trying just to shut you down. Don't shut me down, don't shut me down. Don't shut me down, don't shut me down. Everywhere you go, there's a firewall. People in the future can't do nothing at all. They are spying at your page on the internet. They are hacking through your phone for your dirty text. Can't you see you should go a little crazy now? Because your time is running out. The power, the pain, the pleasure won't be long till it's all censored. Don't shut me down, don't shut me down. Don't shut me down, don't shut me down. Everywhere you go, there's a firewall. Everywhere you go, there's a firewall. Can't do nothing, nothing. Everywhere you go, there's a firewall. Everywhere you go, there's a firewall. Censor, censor. Don't shut me down, don't shut me down. Don't shut me down, don't shut me down. Don't shut me down, don't shut me down. Don't shut me down, don't shut me down.
If you could picture Paul Mac and Garbage having a music baby, then Goodspace would be pretty close. This is Don't Want No One to Know.
Don't want no one to know. I've been harboring doubts, but won't say what about. Don't want no one to know that I'm so fucking scared, playing loops through my head. You need someone to love you. 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 To know I feel inadequate, but I still insist. But I still insist. You need someone to love you. You need someone to love you. You need someone to love you. Why the fuck did I do this bullshit? Find it and then lose it. Am I patient or just latent? Battling frustrations. I really don't want no one to know. Yeah, yeah. I'm the person I can't face. I'm the person I can't face. You need someone to love you. 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 You need someone to love you.
I don't know about you guys, but I've got a feeling that country is so in right now. This month, we'll play our fair share of some awesome bands, including this next guy, Dustin Lynch. Enjoy Ridin' Roads.
Riding roads.
This town ain't got no nightclub. We don't need the neon lights. Girl, I got that 87 gassed up, 30 early out there in your drive. Got you a bullet and a koozie, keep it ice cold. You take a sip or we get gone. Looking at you with your hand out the window. I'm turning right while you're turning me on. Riding roads that don't nobody go down. A little trip through the countryside. These 38's making the world go round. I hit a curve just to make you slide. The only light is a flashing yellow. Only thing that I want is your kiss. I'm loving nothing to do with you, baby. Just riding roads on a night like this. Out there where the moon hits the water, out there where your lips in mine. I don't know where we are, cause somebody stole the street signs. I'ma take my sweet time, cause I could go on forever, but you there ride a shotgun. All our friends are probably making plans, baby. Hey, but we already got one. We'll be riding roads that don't nobody go down. A little trip through the countryside. These 38's making the world go round. I hit a curve just to make you slide. The only light is a flashing yellow. The only thing that I want is your kiss. I'm loving nothing to do with you, baby. Just riding roads on a night like this. Just riding roads on a night like this. I got one hand on the wheel and I got the other trying to cross the line. Yeah, the way you make me feel, I wanna keep it rolling till the sun rise. Riding roads that don't nobody go down. A little trip through the countryside. These 38's making the world go round. I hit a curve just to make you slide. The only light is a flashing yellow. The only thing that I want is your kiss. I'm loving nothing to do with you, baby. Just riding roads on a night like this. Just riding roads on a night like this.
Aspy Jones delivers us a catchy song. This is Madhouse.
Welcome to my house.
I reside. We got madness on the table, and we're able to make you feel stable. We like to shout at the walls for comfort and talk to whomever talks back. Welcome to my house, don't worry, we're all crazy here. Crazy here. Welcome to my house, don't worry, we're all crazy here. Crazy here. If you have a shred of normality, please place it on the counter and leave quietly. Cause we're in a position to ask you an inquisition, cause we don't think that you've been just done it yet. I like to sunbathe on a cloudy day, drive my convertible straight through the rain, start relationships before past wounds have healed, play hopscotch on abandoned minefields. We don't push the ladder, it don't get much better. It's crazy everything we say and do. Welcome to my house, don't worry, we're all crazy here. Crazy here. Welcome to my house, don't worry, we're all crazy here. Crazy here. If you have a shred of normality, please place it on the counter and leave quietly. Cause we're in a position to ask you an inquisition, cause we don't think that you've been just at us yet.
No stranger to the regular radio podcast and our Rolling 20 with his country rock tunes, we are very fortunate to have the chance to finally catch up for a chat with Casey Barnes. Welcome to regular radio, Casey.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime. Thank you for joining us. We've really noticed that it's been quite an awesome journey these past few years, with 2018 and 2019 delivering some incredibly memorable moments. What's been your biggest pinch me moment in your career to date?
To date, man, that is a good question. I think probably the first really big break that I had in music would have been back in 2005, and my first ever CD that I was given as a kid growing up was Bryan Adams' Greatest Hits, and remember clearly getting it for Christmas and played it over and over on repeat and learnt all the songs and loved it. And then fast forward to 2005, it was my first big break in music, and I got to open for Bryan Adams for A Day on the Green, and it was just one of those serendipitous type opportunities that came along, and definitely a moment I'll never forget. And because it was my first really big, concert that I got to play at, I think that was why it was extra special. But yeah, it was pretty amazing.
That's pretty phenomenal. Did you spend much time with him at all?
Oh, look, not a great deal of time, but my wife was actually invited up on stage to sing with him in the middle of the concert, which was one of the coolest things I've ever been able to witness, and they did a great rendition of Baby When You're Gone, which was the duet that he did with Sporty Spice, and it was a pretty special day. I'll never forget it.
That's pretty awesome. That's actually one of my favourite songs that he sings, so that is cool. That I would pinch myself in that situation. That's really cool.
Oh, it was good fun.
Can you paint the picture to our regulars on how Casey Barnes, the country rock singer, came to be?
Oh, gee, well, I guess I grew up in Tassie as a kid, and I started out doing lots and lots of solo gigs in and around Launceston, in pubs and clubs and, just doing that for a living, and then made the move up to Queensland and did a lot of the same things for quite a few years. And then there was a guy who actually stopped me and took me aside. I think it was on one of my breaks at a gig, and he had a really big chat to me, and he said, look, I really think you should be releasing your own music and putting your own stuff out there. Have you ever thought about it? And planted the seed, and that's where it all sort of started. And I guess, fast forward, I've just been working harder and harder and, getting better and playing more shows and travelling all around, Australia and overseas and just had a lot of lucky breaks along the way, but a lot of hard work at the same time. And, very fortunate to do what I love for a living.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the things that we pick up quite regularly is that, when you get to this point, it doesn't come from not doing hard work. It's a pretty hard slog that you artists have to kind of really commit yourself to get to this point. Hey.
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge commitment, not only for yourself, but your family. And, I'm very lucky to have a very supportive family, and it's a big commitment, a lot of work, and it doesn't just happen overnight. For me, it's been I guess 15 years in the making, and a lot of persistence, and a lot of times you're not going to get told yes every time. You're going to get plenty of no's along the way, and you just got to not give up and keep believing in what you're doing. And I think apart from the 2005 memory, I think my more recent memory of things that I'll never forget, and one of the most special things that's happened is probably signing with Michael Chugg and Chugg Music, and which has only literally just happened in the last 6 months. And Michael Chugg is one of the biggest names in Aussie music, full stop, and to have him now managing me is something that's a bit of a dream come true. It started out as a bit of not a joke, but at the start of the year, the guys that I recorded with actually said, we really want to get the right team behind you, and they said, who would you love to represent you? And we sort of jokingly said, well, Michael Chugg, it'd be great. And then they said, why don't you get in touch? And that's literally how it happened. So it's funny.
That is really cool. What was your first reaction once the deal and all of this kind of started coming together?
I remember exactly where I was when I got the email that came through. I'll never forget that. And started out with just, I flew down to Sydney, had some meetings, and it grew from there. And I went over to the States, had some more meetings and a few opportunities that came about at the start of this year, and things developed a little bit more. And, it's just been, I guess, a bit of luck, that right place at the right time. And he was looking for the right person to sign, and he really likes what I'm doing. And it's just been great.
That's awesome. It's really good once, you can sit back and see, all the hard work that you've put in to date can get you to this point, and you get to almost celebrate it in a way, but know that there's quite a lot of hard work still to come, right?
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing, you're spot on. I think the mistake some people make is, they think, I guess, when this happens, it's like, it's all going to take care of itself, which is not the case at all. The real hard work really starts now, and that's what we're trying to do. And I'm excited. There's some lots to do, but it's going to be an exciting journey.
That's so cool. Now, you've got quite a loyal following with over 27,000 followers on Facebook alone. Where do your most passionate followers, supporters come from?
Yeah. Gee whiz, I think a lot of them come from having followed me for a long time. The really passionate, loyal supporters have been on the journey with me for quite a long time, and I think they've stuck by me because they believe in where we're going, and I think they're excited to see that things are starting to progress, and they're getting to sort of in a way come along for the ride. And I like to make sure my fans feel part of the whole thing. And it's country fans are just really unique. They're very loyal and great people, and I've been lucky to make a lot of great friends, and I absolutely love it. Just an example is this weekend just gone, we played at a festival up near Gladstone, and a whole group of fans hired a bus and made the trip all the way from the Gold Coast. This little minibus, I think it broke down half the way up there, and had to get a replacement bus and a new driver, and and keep on going. And they made the trek all the way up to this little place called Billawheeler where we played up there. And, you know, they had smiles in their faces and had a great weekend. And, you know, stuff like that is pretty cool. And, you know, they'll go into bat for you any day of the week. So I'm lucky to have, you know, great fans.
That's awesome. That's solid commitment right there. That's like, that is pretty crazy. That's really cool. You spend quite a lot of time on the road. What does a typical day off look for you?
Ooh, typical day off. Oh, look, if I get any time off, it's generally spent with my family. You know, we're all very busy. My wife is, you know, she works full time in events and corporate events and all sorts of entertainment and stuff. So if we get time off, we usually want to spend it together and with our two little girls. And you know, we like to travel as well. And you know, anything we can do together is always, it's very cherished. So we try and, you know, do that as much as we possibly can.
Yeah, definitely. Do they get to go with you very often?
They do sometimes. It's hard with some gigs that are away, but they're definitely, if there's an opportunity. We recently just went down to Sydney all together, the four of us, which was great. And it's just getting a balance of the ones where they can come along and the ones that they can't. But you know, it's I try and make sure I'm not away for too long. If I do have to go away, it's not like I go away for months on end. And it's usually, you know, a week here or a few days here, and try not to be away for too long.
Yeah, no, that's totally understandable. I think though, you know, your girls will look back and go, my dad's pretty cool, you know. Not every little girl can say that their dad's a rock star, like a legit rock star. So
it's funny. They also keep you very grounded at the same time. It's good. Sometimes I'll get a bit of good news and I'll tell my 11-year-old daughter Charlie, and she'll go, you know, that's good, Dad, and then she'll just move on to the next topic really quickly. But have I told you about this? And it's like, you know, it keeps you very level and very grounded. But it's good. I like that. I wouldn't want it any other way.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I don't blame you there at all. So, where has been your favourite place to play in the world so far?
Oh boy, man, we've done some amazing gigs and some pretty awesome festivals. I mean, we've done a couple of really massive shows at Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane. We got to play at a rugby final there one year, and then we did the NRL semi-finals at Suncorp Stadium, and that was definitely one to tick off the bucket list. I'd love to play one day, you know, in the near future. I'd love to play an AFL grand final because I'm a huge AFL fanatic, and that would be one on the bucket list. But you know, we've done some crazy gigs. We played at a huge country festival over in California a couple of years ago with Lady Antebellum and a bunch of other huge country acts over in the state. That was a huge opportunity, and you know, it's something I'll never forget. So so many amazing gigs. We've been very lucky.
That's pretty cool. I'm pretty impressed at the fact that your first answer was Suncorp Stadium. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Oh, it was a very, walking out. There's a really cool photo I've got, which I should put in a frame one day, but myself and two of the boys in my band, and we're walking out into the centre of Suncorp, and there's someone taking a photo from behind as we're walking out onto the ground, and you can just see the crowd in the background and the stage, and it's, stuff like that. Sometimes you've got to look back on and just sort of appreciate how lucky you are to do, you know, what you do for a living. And I just love, you know, those opportunities, and when they do come along, it's something you've got to cherish and make the most of.
Yeah, definitely. As we head into 2020, or 2020 as most of the population refer to, what are your goals for the year?
Yeah, well, I guess first and foremost, we've nearly finished a brand new album, so that'll be on number one on the list is getting that new album out there, and it's hopefully not too far off. So 2020 will be a lot to do with that, and doing some touring around that here in Australia, and then hopefully some more stuff over in the States. We're heading back over to the States early next month to do some shows and some showcases in Nashville, and I think we want to try and, you know, branch out over there a little more in 2020 and just keep working hard. You know, I think that's the key, is you just got to keep pushing and keep putting good, you know, as much music as you can out there. So that's the plan.
Yeah, 100%. That's awesome. And lastly, my questions for the evening: where can our regulars find you to keep up to date with everything? Where you're going to be, where you're playing, all that kind of jazz?
Yeah, look, absolutely I love staying in touch with everyone on social media. I guess you can find me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and I guess my website, and has all our upcoming tour dates and all sorts of stuff on there as well. So, and apparently there's this new platform I have had no idea about it until tonight. It's I don't know, have you heard of TikTok? Or it's apparently some phenomenon. I don't know what's going on, but...
Yeah, my partner downloaded it and was getting all these notifications from single women, and he was getting really confused. And then he was like, look at it.
Don't come and find me on TikTok.
No.
That's weird.
He then registered, and he's like, I swear I saw Will Smith. So he went and looked up Will Smith, and all he wanted to look at was Will Smith's spaghetti legs. So
there you go.
Now he wants to do the same thing.
Well, apparently Guy Sebastian, he's just signed up tonight, and my bass player's been on about it for weeks. He's like, you got to get on to this TikTok thing. It's the next big thing. And I'm like, it sounds a bit like it's more geared up for kids to me. But anyway, we're giving that a shot too. So it's pretty funny. There's just too much to choose from.
That's pretty cool. It's a lot of trickery, I think, in the videos from what I can see.
Right.
So I'll make sure
I'll just stick to what I know then.
No, give it a go. It's all a bit of fun. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. What I'm going to do is hand you over to our next guest, which is Seanny Millar, and he's going to come and have a chat with you. And I think you've got what we call a mass debate to go through. So, yes, I will hand over the microphone.
Sounds good.
Thanks so much.
Nice to talk to you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to the monthly mass debate for November 2019. As usual, I am your monthly mass debater and host of this segment, Seanny Millar. And as always, I'm excited to masturbate with someone new, and I actually haven't masturbated in 2 months, so I'm feeling like a well-shaken bottle of passion pop right now, so I'm really, really ready. And this time around, I'm masturbating with my newest victim, Australian country rock star and all-round local Gold Coast legend, Casey Barnes. How are you, man?
Mate, I'm great. Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for being here. It's not easy to, agree to masturbate with another man you've never met, so I appreciate your time.
Mate, it all sounds very odd. It really does, but I'm here and I'm looking forward to it.
Just let it happen, man. Just let it happen. All right, so just so everyone know how it works. So what we do here, we get given a random topic, and then we're going to go for or against, and we're going to get a minute each, basically, to argue our cases and debate. Hence the mass debate. So tonight, the thing that we've picked out, Casey, we're gonna argue for or against mullets. So I love it. I'm going to let you pick, man. What do you want to go, for or against mullets?
Oh, look, being an Australian country artist, I'm going to go for. I think they're fantastic.
Sweet. Awesome. Cool. All right. I was sort of hoping you wouldn't pick that, because now that I like mullets too, now I've got to argue against them. But that's the game, right? So
you're stuffed, aren't you, now?
So, do you want me to take the lead? Do you want me to go first, just so you can give you?
Yeah, you go first. You go first.
No worries. All right. So, we're about to start our minute. And go. All right, so first of all, mullets are out of style. I think mullets belong in the magical realm of the 80s, to be honest, where it was, worn like a rooster's comb sort of thing, like a decoration by like masculine men, like footballers and criminals, I guess. Yeah, so I think they belong in the 80s. Look, I had a dude the other day in one of my shows. He was a modern gentleman with a mullet wearing 2019 fashion, and it just looked like he was like an 80s Aussie dude that had hot-wired the DeLorean, and it looked like a glitch in the Matrix or something. I don't know. I also bet if that's true, he's probably really pissed off at the price of cigarettes right now too. I think they look backwards. I think like some demigods like whipped through time and just spun someone's fucking haircut backwards. I don't know, just how it looks like to me. And hey, we all saw what happened in Jurassic Park and Pet Sematary, trying to bring things that are dead back to life. So let's learn from that, everybody. And that's my minute. All right.
That's excellent. I don't know if I can top that.
You don't need to top it, man. You just need to give me 1 minute of your passion about mullets. So,
all right, are we ready?
Are you all limbered up?
Yep. I'm ready. I'm just going to go with the flow.
Yeah, go with the flow. All right, and go.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I feel I grew up in the land of the mullet, where it originated originally from, and that is the state of Tasmania. I'm a proud Tasmanian, and I can proudly say that as a kid, I grew up with a little bit of a mullet there for a while. I went through a phase around the age of, I think it was 7 and 8 years old when I was living in a little town called Queenstown on the west coast of Tassie, and I don't know whether it was mum and dad were too broke to take me to get a haircut or not, but anyway, I had a mullet and I thought it was great. And I think fast forward to 2019, the mullet is back. I'm seeing them at gigs and festivals all over the country, and I think it's fantastic. I was lucky enough to do a bunch of the pro bull riding gigs around Australia last year, and I think I lost count of the amount of mullets that I saw in the crowd all around the country, and I think some of the best would have been down around the
10 seconds.
All 5 seconds. Okay, all right. The mullet is back. I think it needs to be an institution, and that's all I have to say about that.
Man, that was awesome. And look, I agree. That's the nature of the game. Sometimes we get given the other one, but that's what makes it fun. And hey, I had a mullet too, so like that's
great. Be proud.
Go the mullet. Oh yeah, if it comes back, man, I welcome it too. But that's the game.
Mum and dad have got a photo.
Would you ever sport, like, if it is coming back, are you going to work that into your artwork and your promo work? Would you sport the mullet again?
I would happily support the mullet again. In fact, there was some photo floating around the internet there last year where I was getting tagged quite a lot. It was some bloke that was famous in the 80s, and he had this beautiful mullet going on, and a lot of people were tagging me because they thought it looked like me. So I put it up on Facebook as a joke, saying it was me, and we actually legitimately convinced quite a few people to think that it really actually was me. This guy, it was hilarious. They actually thought it was me. So you never know. I might bring it back. It could happen.
I'd like to see that. I would say no at this point, but hey, if everyone's doing it, if everyone's jumping off the bridge with mullets, then I'll just join you as well. But hey, look, thanks, man.
Actually, it's great.
That was a whole bunch of fun. Thank you so much again for using your words. That was odd, but hopefully it was fun.
You're more than welcome, and thanks for the support. I really, really appreciate it.
Our pleasure, man. Everybody, Casey Barnes, good sport, absolute legend. Go check him out if you don't know this man. You will not be sorry. Thanks, Casey.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Stay regular, y'all.
Days, I could wait 1,000 years. You may think one day these feelings will change, but you don't have a thing to fear. I ain't moving on in a couple of months. I could wait 1,000 years. You may think my love won't be patient enough, but I ain't going anywhere. I ain't giving you up. I'll be sticking around. That pretty look on your face, there ain't nothing I change, 'cause you're perfect the way you are. Come on, baby, you're amazing. I've never ever been so sure that every imperfection makes me love you just a little more. Come on, baby, you're crazy. I'm never gonna leave, I'm yours, 'cause every imperfection makes me love you just a little more. Love you just a little more. Love you just a little more. Girl, you got a smile like a light up a room. I could write 1,000 songs about the curves of your hips and the taste of your lips, but you think everything is wrong. I'm gonna say it a million ways till I make it crystal clear. You're the one that I want, so let forever start right here. Come on, baby, you're amazing. I've never ever been so sure that every imperfection makes me love you just a little more. Come on, baby, you're crazy. I'm never gonna leave, I'm yours, 'cause every imperfection makes me love you just a little more. Love you just a little more. Love you just a little more. I ain't giving you up. I'll be sticking around. That pretty look on your face, there ain't nothing I change, 'cause you're perfect the way you are. Come on, baby, you're amazing. I've never ever been so sure that every imperfection makes me love you just a little more. Come on, baby, you're crazy. I'm never gonna leave, I'm yours, 'cause every imperfection
Another country banger coming your way. This is Marty Rhone with Jealous of the Sky.
So there's one more angel in heaven tonight. Is that supposed to make me feel alright? I wish I could be there to see you. I thought the world would stop spinning around. It seems so selfish, it's still turning now. I wish I could go back and hold you one more time. I'm jealous of the sky, jealous of the stars, jealous of anywhere you are. I'm jealous of the sky. You used to be mine. I'm so jealous of the sky, so jealous of the sky. Every now and then in my restless sleep, I swear that I can feel you here with me, and I never want to wake up. Morning sun, it tries to warm my lonely heart, but it only shines a light on all the broken parts. And I never want to look up to say goodbye. I'm jealous of the sky, jealous of the stars, jealous of anywhere you are. I'm jealous of the sky. You used to be mine. I'm jealous, so jealous of the sky. Jealous of the sky, jealous of the stars, jealous of anywhere you are. I'm jealous of the sky, jealous of the stars, jealous of anywhere you are. I'm jealous of the sky. You used to be mine.
Genre change coming at ya. This is Tempist Fujit with Home.
Home, 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 home. Wakarongoa keo ki te tangi o te manu nei tui, 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 tui a. Tui ai runga, tui ai raro, tui ai roto, tui ai waho karongo te pō, karongo te oti he mauri ora.
I walked down the street and I saw your face. I was home. now and I'm feeling fine. I recall a time when everybody was there. Mama sitting there smiling, it's so good to be here. Now and I'm feeling fine. I recall a time when everybody was there. Mama sitting there smiling, it's so good to be here. Everything's clear now and I'm feeling fine. Mama sitting there smiling, it's so good to be here.
Pretty Thrills are up with something pretty indeed. Their song is Flames.
Kill for one more bite.
the Irish, we welcome Pat Flaherty with Hanging Tree.
Spreading out, the hangman's noose reaches down to me. Every man he moves for, his death looms closer still. Rattle and hum out the chains and then cry, oh God, save me from this fate. Let my spirit fly like a bird from a cage. Oh Lord, save me from this hate. Let my spirit fly like a bird from a cage. No lock or key to open these shackles welded shut, the hands and feet scarred with sear and pain. But how long will you spit on me, keep me in the dirt? Hold my spirit, leave me now on heaven's plane. Save me from this fate, let my spirit fly like a bird from a cage. Oh Lord, save me from this hate. Let my spirit fly like a bird from a cage.
Hot Apollo are upbeat and super cool. This is Laser Days.
Cruising down Mulholland and looking so pretty.
Now we're taking a break, and here's Lil C with some good news.
Thanks, Em. That's right, I'm Lil C. Let's get straight into the news. And pill testing at New South Wales music festivals could soon be a reality. A new bill introduced to State Parliament in October would allow pill testing at festivals and other fixed points across the state. The bill is being spearheaded by Greens MP Kate Furman, who doubles as spokesperson for drug law reform and harm reduction. The proposed bill would allow organisations, including festival organisers, to apply for a licence to conduct pill testing services. Approval on licence applications would come from the Secretary of the Health Department. As is the case with the pill testing trial in the ACT, counselling and advice would be given to anyone carrying a substance. According to Fairman, pill testing has been a success in the ACT, where there have been no deaths at music festivals where pill testing has been provided, and drugs with unsafe substances have been thrown away. Heavy-handed policing is not going to keep young people at music festivals safe this summer. She continued by saying that pill testing works, and it's time the Premier had the courage to acknowledge that. If they won't act before this summer, then I'm hoping the Parliament will. New South Wales State Premier Gladys Berejiklian has been immovable in her opposition to pill testing. Following the second trial of pill testing at Groove in the Moo Festival in Canberra, advocates were lauding the absence of reveller deaths as an overwhelming success. Berejiklian, however, was unconvinced. She said, "My position on pill testing remains firm. I don't think it works, I don't think the evidence is there, and I don't support it." Though the Greens are hopeful the bill would be approved in Parliament before summer, it would be unlikely given the lengthy debates that surround the issue, and we'll wait to hear more about that one soon. Now on to our next story, and Postman Pat creator John Cunliffe has died at the age of 85. The author passed away in Ilkley, West Yorkshire on September 20. He delighted generations of children with his tales of rural postman Pat Clifton and his black and white cat Jess, who lived in the fictional village of Greendale. The character was turned into a 13-episode series, first aired on BBC One in 1981. Mr. Cunliffe wrote the original scripts, and the show was directed by animator Ivor Wood, who also worked on The Magic Roundabout, The Wombles, Paddington Bear, and The Herbs. Following the success of the first series, 4 TV specials and a second series of 13 episodes were produced during the 1990s when Pet had a family. A new version of the series was produced by Cosgrove Hall Films from 2003, which expanded on many aspects of the original series. Mr. Cunliffe, who worked for many years as a librarian and also a teacher, was inspired to create Pat by the stunning scenery and rural life around his home in Kendall, Cumbria. His other famous creation was Rosie and Jim, a children's TV favourite from the 1990s that follows the escapades of ragdolls Rosie and Jim, who live on a narrowboat. He scripted and presented the first 50 episodes, then turned some of them into books. A spokesman for Royal Mail said, "Royal Mail was saddened to hear of the death of John Cunliffe. He created a character loved by young and old alike, while highlighting the unique role that postmen and women in their red vans play in communities across the country." And a company has answered the question of what would Jesus wear by creating a pair of $3,000 holy shoes. Dubbed the Jesus shoes, the Nike Tick emblazoned sneakers have holy water in the soles, and it has to be seen to be believed. When they hit the shelves recently, they sold out in a matter of minutes. It is not clear whether early buyers were willing to fork out an average month's salary because of the shoes' 100% frankincense wool makeup, or the crucifix tied onto the shoelaces. Possibly they were drawn in by Matthew 14:25 quote on the Jesus Shoes website, suggesting wearers would be able to walk on water. And in the fourth match of the night, he came to them walking on the sea, Matthew recalled. The white and turquoise trainers are the work of Brooklyn-based product design company MSCHF. As well as finally finding a way to monetize Jesus, the company created the shoes to make fun of collab culture, or brand crossovers. We thought of that Arizona iced tea and Adidas collab, where they were selling shoes that advertised a beverage company that sells iced tea at Bodegas. Head of Commerce Daniel Greenberg told the New York Post. So we wanted to make a statement about how absurd collab culture has gotten. We were wondering, what could a collab with Jesus Christ look like? As a Jew myself, the only thing I knew was that he walked on water. On its first release, the 24 shoes up for grabs all sold, earning the company $72,000. More Jesus shoes will go on sale on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of the month. While the company is clearly making a pretty penny from its holy figure sneakers, it has done the hard yards to make them as authentic as possible, and I may even try to get myself a pair. Now moving on to our next story, and officers of the Kenyan Customs Services Department have arrested a Chinese tourist attempting to board a flight for Shanghai after finding a total of 510 genital organs from wildlife animals in his suitcases. 37-year-old Ming Zhang Wei was arrested this morning at the Jomo Kenyatta Airport in Nairobi while carrying 2 suitcases full of animal penises. The genital organs came from a variety of animals, including zebras, baboons, buffaloes, giraffes, lions, and even 21 of them from pink flamingos. A few penises were so badly preserved that their nature was impossible to identify. Kenya Police Commissioner Matthew Itere commented on the case this morning, saying that more arrests could take place over the next few days, and he's quoted as saying, "We know that local poachers provide the Chinese black market with body parts from African wildlife. We hope this arrest could help us dismantle the entire network." According to the commissioner, this criminal network could have smuggled over 50,000 organs over the last few years. He continued by saying, "Our investigation has shown that Chinese couriers would transport similar quantities of organs by plane at least twice a week for the past 2 years. That means thousands of dead animals." Organs from wildlife animals around the world tend to meet a high demand in China, where traditional medicine often uses them to cure several aches and diseases. Zebra dicks, for example, are often dried, powdered, and drank to cure impotency and increase the size of men's genital organs. Several animals around the world have seen their populations decrease as the high demand has brought up the prices and transformed illegal hunting into an extremely lucrative business. Several animals like black and white rhinos, African elephants, Siberian tigers, and even North American black bears and deer have been victims of poachers in recent years. Despite efforts to counter the phenomenon, most experts believe that poaching will probably increase by more than 200% over the next 10 years, especially in Africa. And unlike our Seanny, the last thing I'll be putting in my lips is a zebra cock. Now, keeping on with the same theme for our next story, a New Zealand-based ASICS store has been forced to apologise to shoppers after pornographic videos ran on street-facing TVs for several hours on Sunday morning. The outlet store, located on busy Shortland Street in Auckland, reportedly had the explicit videos running from 1 a.m. to 10 a.m. The screens were only turned off when staff arrived to start their shifts and notified ASICS of the activity. In a statement to media, the sportswear retailer said it was a victim of a cyber security breach. The statement said, "We are currently investigating the situation and working to mitigate it happening again in the future. We sincerely apologise to those who saw the content." The manufacturer then posted a follow-up to Facebook saying, despite an investigation being launched, the culprit behind the attack had not yet been identified. On social media, they said, "This morning an unknown person gained access to the screens above our central Auckland store, and some objectionable content was displayed on these screens. We would like to apologise to anyone who may have seen this. We are working with our software and online security suppliers to ensure this does not happen again." And it's believed the explicit content was seen by adults and children going about their Sunday morning shopping. Now on to our next story, and let's see what's happening in the world of science. You see, the rocket and spacecraft at the centre of Elon Musk's plan to colonise Mars could fly humans into orbit within 1 year, and cost billions of dollars less than he once predicted. The SpaceX CEO said 2 years ago that it would cost between 2 and 14 billion Australian dollars to develop the hardware needed to trek millions of miles across deep space. Musk said he now believes the cost will come in on the low end of that spectrum, probably closer to 2 or 3 billion than it is to 10. During an hour-long presentation about the next steps, he also said the first passengers could board Starship and travel to orbit within a year. The prototype, welded together in 1 month, indicates the activity that's taken place over the past 10 months as engineers ramped up development of Starship. Now, personally, I wouldn't fly on a rocket ship that has been welded together in 1 month, but moving right along. In the near future, SpaceX plans to light up its new prototype on a brief flight about 65,000 feet into the air. Within 6 months, SpaceX hopes to attempt to send an uncrewed flight into Earth's orbit, a feat that requires speeds of over 25,000 kilometers per hour. Starship is designed to launch into space atop Super Heavy, a monstrous rocket booster that would also deliver fuel tanks to fill the craft while it's in Earth's orbit for the journey to Mars. Both the spacecraft and rocket are expected to be reusable, which Musk said is the only way to make the vehicle affordable. In almost any motor transport, whether it's a plane or car, a horse or bicycle, it's reusable, Musk said. If you could use a car only once, very few people could afford to drive a car. So the critical breakthrough that's necessary is a rapidly reusable orbital rocket, and that is the holy grail of space, he said. Musk has spoken publicly for years about his vision for a spacecraft capable of travelling to other planets, and the blueprints have undergone significant revisions. Analysts and critics have questioned whether SpaceX can fund such a project. Some have suggested that even Musk's earlier estimate that it would cost $14 billion was likely lowballing what it would actually cost. Now on to our last story for this month, regulars, and I have good news for all of you who are fans of Jurassic Park and those films. You see, Jurassic World 3 is officially bringing back the original Jurassic Park actors Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum. Last year's Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom continued the story that left off with Colin's first Jurassic World movie from 2015, but this time taking the story away from the core isla Nublar Island and setting the franchise on a new path. Audiences got a quick glimpse of that vision in this summer's Jurassic World Battle at Big Rock, an 8-minute short film that takes place 1 year after the events of Fallen Kingdom, and shows how humans have begun to adapt to having dinosaurs out in the wild. That Jurassic World short film not only showed how things have fared for the dinosaurs, but it also set the stage for Jurassic World 3, which is the third and final installment in the Jurassic World series. And now, to bring the new story to a close, original Jurassic Park actors are all set to reprise their roles in the film. Spielberg's Emblem officially confirmed the news, although the announcement failed to mention if the roles will be cameos or something more. What's interesting is that this will mark the first time since Spielberg's Jurassic Park, released in '93, that all three actors will appear together in a Jurassic Park movie. They were all in the first film, but only Goldblum returned for the sequel, The Lost World, which released 4 years later. Then, another 4 years after that, Neill and Dern reprised their roles for Jurassic Park 3, but in that case, Dern only had a very brief part in the beginning and towards the end. It was really Neill's movie to shine. So, there you have it, something to look forward to. Its anticipated release date, by the way, is June 2021, so still a little while off. Don't get too excited yet. Now, it's quite a shame that it's going to be so long before that movie is actually out, because I was hoping to organise some sort of regular radio staff outing where we could actually go and see the movie. I think the guys would love that. We'll have to wait. Speaking of our regular radio team, fantastic to have Seanny back with us. He's been off for a few months. I've no idea where he's been. By the way, no one's told me. I've just found out too that Dalton's been off for months. No one told me that either. I've got no idea where he's been, but hopefully he's back with us soon. I'm looking forward to hearing a few more of his comedic performances. But anyway, welcome back, Seanny. And I hear that he's had a good masturbate session this month with Seanny, and featuring a few of the mullets, which Casey's a big fan of, so I'm told. Anyway, as always, we post all of our stories here on Regular Radio on our Twitter page, which is @news_regular. So if you'd like to hear more about our stories that we feature here each and every month, make sure you give us a follow. And we'd also love to hear some of your feedback about the stories that we feature here on the podcast. So feel free to send us a tweet @news_regular. We'd love to hear from you. Anyway, regulars, until next time, stay regular.
All right, thank you, Lil C, for the news for November 2019. As always, we appreciate the in-depth research you've put into telling us what the fuck's going on around the world.
Going to Rhone?
Yeah, going to Rhone.
Who's Rhone?
It's a mate of mine.
Yeah, okay. You do Rhone?
Sometimes I do Rhone.
Oh, wow.
Done Rhone.
Done Rhone?
Yeah. What's happening, buddy?
Oh, not a lot, just hanging out. Oh, sorry, I just chinked my beer.
Yeah.
That's a good
Awesome.
cheers to everybody.
Also, you're not Dalton.
I know. Dalton, what's with your commitment issues?
Yeah, well, to be fair, I mean, it's not like he's not committing, he's just committing to something else.
His commitment issues to us?
I've got to work and make money.
Oh, so do we.
Comedy's not even that hard.
Bro. Oh, dude, that's
Oh.
okay. I'm here to talk for the third month in a row, and that's what I do best. So.
Exciting. And we've had a beer. I mean, I've had a full one, minus half an inch because it's homebrew and it's got yeast in there. M's down half, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, good times.
Noodles.
What have we got to talk about?
All of the things.
The justice system in Australia. Like, let's get serious this month, I thought. So we've got a few dun 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 sound effect insert here, royalty free. I don't know. I listen to the radio a lot. Not really any current music stations because. No.
We just established that JD is actually a nerd because he listens to AM, basically.
It's not AM, it's 104.1 FM. It's John Law's talkback show.
Yeah.
It's great.
Same.
It's fantastic. There's lots of informative information.
Lots of or lots of?
Oh, no, I love it. It's great. It keeps me busy during the day. You don't always agree with his opinions, but at the same time, he doesn't beat around the bush and saying, "That's my opinion. If you don't like it, fuck off."
Yeah, pretty much.
Because that's the kind of guy I like.
Yep, that's very much like you.
Yeah, very much like me. So, the Australian justice system, we had a news story. I'm not sure. Yeah, so there was an attack in Melbourne in November 2018 where a student paramedic... no, he is the student paramedic. Whereas, what are we talking about? What's going on?
Basically, a paramedic got beaten up by some random rogue dude on the road, right?
Yeah, I think there might be a fuck up in this story because it's from Channel 7. So, this is weird. No, it's so poorly worded. A road rage driver who bashed a student paramedic. So she was a student paramedic.
Yeah.
Okay. Shouldn't go to jail because he was remorseful and his mental health issues played a part.
Look, when somebody has committed a crime, I feel like the easiest thing that they do is put their hand up and say, I have mental issues.
Yeah, fuck, we've all got mental issues.
Exactly. And the other thing is, if there's actually no way to actually prove that he had mental issues at the time of committing the crime, I would imagine.
Well, according to the article here, it was a spate of depression. His mental illness may have exacerbated his offending. What does that mean? He felt sad enough to bash someone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so he had cannabis on him as well, which, number one, you've got, whether you like it or not, it's currently illegal in Australia, and it's definitely illegal in Victoria. And he attacked this female so severely she was left with a fractured eye socket.
So grievous bodily harm.
He pled guilty, and the magistrate's basically given him community service.
Which is not good.
No, not for that. It wasn't a reactive assault either. It was he physically chased her down the street and
beat her up.
Yeah, beat her up.
Yeah. No, that proves definitely in the state of Victoria that, and I'm sure it happens all over the country, that our justice system is not strong enough.
Well, Yeah, that, and it's kind of like the ends doesn't justify what happened. Not the means, obviously, but for example, the prosecutor told the court the offence was serious and the victim had been left with ongoing mental harm. So now someone else has mental issues because of the person with mental issues.
PTSD.
Yeah.
Which is really, it's screwed because that person and everyone has the right to go to work and be in a safe environment and not have to worry that they're going to walk away
Absolutely.
either impaired, severely
Here's an
impaired,
interesting part
life-threatening
for you.
issues.
How far do you think he chased her?
Couple of meters.
How far do you think is acceptable, like, to make a decision to go, okay, maybe I shouldn't be doing this and turn around?
Like a meter.
Okay.
He shouldn't have chased her to begin with.
Mr. Burke followed his victim on the road for 10 kilometres.
Oh, that is incredible intent.
Slammed the brakes on his vehicle in front of her, forcing her to stop in a 100-kilometre zone before the incident.
So, hold on. Was he following her
in a vehicle?
In a vehicle, and
Yep.
she was in an ambulance.
It doesn't say.
So I wonder if road rage was the beginning part of all of this.
It actually doesn't say in the thing here.
Yeah.
Great reporting, Channel 7.
Yeah.
Not only is your reporting shoddy, but you've made our reporting shoddy.
Yeah. Oh,
So
well.
we'll move on to the next one because it's not just one case. You know, you can't, when you're discussing these topics, you can't just pick one out of the barrel. Funnily enough,
can
the
you?
Barrel of Victoria has a number of issues. The second one I wanted to talk about was an attack on a bus driver. A lot of people remember back in 2014, 2015, I think it was, in Dandenong, a mother and daughter punched, bit and spat at a bus driver during a disgraceful daylight attack. CCTV footage released showed the mother and daughter brutally assault the bus driver after he dared to ask the pair to pay for their trouble. Interestingly enough. Just jump on the bus, that's fine. Where is it? They fronted the magistrate's court, pled guilty again to assault and damage. They received an 18-month good behaviour order and a 12-month behaviour order.
So no community service for them.
Neither were ordered to carry out any community work due to their mental health conditions.
Yeah, I just don't agree with that.
The court heard that the bus driver endured a degrading beating, which saw the younger daughter attempt to squeeze his testicles during the attack.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
And this is not in any way tarring everybody with the same brush.
Absolutely.
Okay. But, the word's not even but. You can't be of a sound mind if you think it is okay to physically harm another individual to such an extent that it causes injury, scarring, like mental issues, any of that.
Sadly,
So-
I think it's entitlement as well. It's not necessarily a mental issue. I think there's a vast majority of people, and looking at the photos of these two, I don't like to judge off stereotypes. They look like the kind of people that may be associated with claiming welfare on Centrelink.
Yeah, okay.
So their entitlement of, I should get everything for free, including this bus I'm about to jump on, they obviously weren't happy being told no, and decided to just take it into their own hands because they can get away with it because they do every day.
Yeah, no, that's stealing.
Yep. And she said to the bus driver, "You embarrassed me in front of these people," and then she punched him.
She just embarrassed herself in front of the whole country by doing that.
Oh, and I think it's the mother, I'm not sure, also assaulted another passenger on the bus who dared to tell them to leave the driver alone.
That's ridiculous. Sorry, side note.
Yes.
Did I just kick that
You
and
did.
make a big noise?
Yep.
Sorry.
No, that's Emma's fault.
No, sorry.
The passenger was called a slut, obviously, for how the term slut means to stand up to someone bashing a bus driver.
Yeah.
Basically. Oh, and another incident heard the lady lost her cool at Noble Park Youth Welfare Centre, where she attacked, bit and spat on a worker, just proving my statement earlier.
See, I just don't... There should be... You know what? I think there should be another type of prison for people that do low versions of misdemeanor offences. Like, I know this isn't as serious as a murder, but it's also not.
No, it's not acceptable in society.
Yeah, it's. I still think that
you
it's
want
a
to live
punishable
like that,
offence.
fuck off to your own community. You can all beat each other to death.
Put them all in like a mental institution.
It's actually funny because this is going to lead into like my third topic. So
yeah.
Let's all remember what we just said.
Okay. Put them all in a mental institution.
Yeah.
Because these are the type of people that should be.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, they're basically in a low-level prison. Like, a lower level than minimum security, you know?
So their defense for this was both the mother and daughter had endured shocking lives of assaults and violence. And Courtney was her mother's full-time carer. He took into account, the judge, Magistrate Jack Vandersteen, took into account the women's terrible pasts and particularly Taylor's history of mental illness and self-harm.
So basically forming an excuse and setting a precedent that anyone that comes from trauma can actually get away with causing harm on others.
Yeah. Serial murderers, I'm pretty sure, come from trauma. That's how they exist. They don't, you're not born a serial murderer. But, there's probably preemptive conditions that exist there, but most of them are tipped that way because they've been abused and things have happened in their lives. So what are we doing?
The world we live in.
All right,
This is heavy. This is actually really heavy.
Well, let's step over because, as I said, I was getting a bit stereotypical with that one there, right? So we've had the young fuckwit smoking some bongs, bashing up a student paramedic. We've got, the bogans bashing the bus driver. And now, just to throw it all on its head, we've got a lovely police officer. Now, not big on sharing names, but it is a publicly known name, so it's not like we can't share it. Police Officer Waylon Johncock from the South Australian Police, who decided to film a video, or he didn't film it, his friend did, of him killing a wombat. Not
That's
just killing
disgusting.
it, stoning it to death.
Why would you do that? And hold on, when did this happen? 2 days ago was National Wombat
Okay, so this
Day.
was 4th of October, so this was pretty much just over 2 weeks ago.
Disgusting.
So, Mr. John Cock, you wonderful human being, off-duty police officer, an Aboriginal elder insisted Mr. John Cock was acting within his rights because he's part Aboriginal, and they're allowed to hunt native wildlife in South Australia. Now, to me, there's a difference between hunting and what this absolute deplorable fucking human being did, which was basically chase a wombat with rocks and throw them until it died. States that he ate the wombat after, which I think is a fucking load of shit.
Yeah.
The video went viral, but under the Native Title Act of 1993, Aboriginal people are allowed to maintain ancient customs such as hunting local wildlife.
I'm just going to do a big to that, but on a side note, you know what I did hear about Adelaide today? It is the drug capital of the world.
I read that as well.
Yeah. So there's the answer to that one.
Yep. Oh, look, this gentleman, what worries me more is that the police commissioner or the deputy commissioner, someone like that, where is it? We'll cut this little bit out so it makes fucking sense. South Australia Police told Daily Mail Australia they were aware of the social media video depicting an incident involving a man inflicting injuries upon a wombat. They confirmed they're taking the situation very seriously and are closely examining the video. An inquiry is being undertaken into this matter to first formally identify the man, which since then he has been identified, and then take appropriate action. You know how much the public knows about what's happened? Fucking zero. You Google wombat stoning, the last news article was on 4th of October, which was
so they haven't actually
20 days ago. So, if you're listening to our podcast and would like to continue the virality of that video, just search for Waylon Johncock or Wombat Killing or Piece of Shit Cop, and
I'm sorry, but he is not doing that out of the need to eat.
No.
I've just Googled this and seen screenshots. He's got his shirt off.
Yep.
He's carrying on like an absolute dickwad.
It's at night. His driver's sort of following him with the lights on. He's putting his thumbs up at the camera.
I actually can't even click on it to read it.
Don't. Honestly, it's fucking just deplorable and disgusting. It's wrong. I actually feel sick with... I'll read a article about a human being murdered, but when an animal is injured for no reason, I'm sick to the point where I want to beat the shit out of the person.
You saw me the other day. I got upset because a bird got ran over on the road.
Yes, you did.
So... And
Exactly.
the other little birdies went to make sure it was okay, and that was sad.
Yeah, it was. So we've been talking about this for 15 minutes, so
Wow.
let's switch it up for a minute. Now, those of you who have been to the Gold Coast in Australia would probably be aware of a little theme park called Dreamworld, who have today announced their iconic ride, the Tower of Terror, will be closing.
I'm actually particularly sad about this. You know why?
No.
Because out of the Tower of Terror and the Giant Drop,
Yeah.
the Tower of Terror is my favourite.
Yeah, the Giant Drop's just literally going up and down.
I know, but I've always... Well, so does the Tower of Terror.
Yeah, but it goes up there from horizontal to vertical.
Yeah, that's true. But I wonder if it's a noise thing. Do you reckon that could be the real reason?
No. So they've said that on the coincidence on the eve of the 3rd anniversary of the 2016 tragedy, which saw a malfunction of the Thunder River Rapids ride,
Yeah.
Dreamworld announced it would be closing the Tower of Terror. So we can assume that at 20 years old, this roller coaster's probably done its dash and they've gone, there's safety issues and we can't fix them without spending more than it's probably worth to put a new one in. I would assume.
Possibly.
That's
But
an
that's
assumption.
also the media tying it back to the tragedy.
Oh,
Because
absolutely,
they're going
yeah.
to keep doing that, and that's going to... They do anything to hinder business.
So the ride closes on 3rd of November. So if you want to get out to Dreamworld and check out the Tower of Terror before
You've
it
got
goes.
3 days.
Yeah, you've got like 36 hours. So
Wow.
get out
Go.
there.
It's good fun.
So they're going to be putting in some new attractions, which is good. A $30 million roller coaster.
Yeah.
I would love to know what that looks like. And they're going to be revamping ABC Kids World.
Hell yeah.
New waterside slide.
Yep.
It actually says a waterside complex, but anyway. Featuring 6 new body slides and 5 unique splash zone experiences.
Not into swimming and tourist wee, but I'm all for roller coasters. So...
Yeah. Well, it looks like the Sky Voyager finally opened too. That's the one with the sort of giant IMAX screen and the chairs that lift you up and makes you feel like you're flying and all that sort of thing.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we've got some interesting things happening in Dreamworld. So, yeah, if you want to head out to the theme parks, well, you've still got a chance to get to the Tower of Terror.
And Big Brother's coming back, I heard.
Big Brother, but they haven't announced if the house is going to be rebuilt at Dreamworld or if it has been rebuilt at Dreamworld.
Or in the process, because it did burn down, don't forget.
It did. Some stupid kids. 9 and 11, I think they were.
Maybe insurance claim. Who
Little
knows?
arsonists. I was going to say something else.
Look, seeing that we're on the good news vibe right now.
Oh, nice.
Did you see that Jennifer Aniston got Instagram?
What's a Jennifer Aniston?
Oh, you know, I'll be there for you, friends, Rachel. You
yes,
know
I
that
do
chick?
know.
You
Who
know
doesn't?
who I'm talking about.
Yeah, the really hot, like 50-something-year-old. Is she 50 yet? I think she's 50.
Yeah, I think she's over 50.
Like 51, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. So she's got Instagram, basically broke the internet. Then everybody went crazy because there was like the photo that she posted was of the whole Friends crew. Then everybody thought that there was coke sitting on one of their phones, which then news.com.au did a bit of a investigation.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at it now. It doesn't look like coke.
No, it's just a reflection.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Anything for a bit of news.
It is. It does look like it's Matthew Perry's phone, so Chandler Bing's been hitting the old chicken.
No, he's clean now, apparently. But, bit of fun fact. Have you ever Googled one of the Friends characters?
No.
Google Ross Geller.
All right, I'm doing this now. Also, Jennifer Aniston is exactly 50.
Oh, look at
Ross Geller.
I'm challenging everybody to do
Yep,
this.
I've done that.
Now, see the little couch in the right-hand side?
Yes.
Click it.
Oh, Jesus. What happened?
Now, write Phoebe, Friends.
I can't because the screen's on the side. What? Holy shit. Okay, so...
Phoebe Buffet.
All playing at home. Google Ross Geller. I don't even know how to fucking do this.
BFFAY for Phoebe Buffet.
Alright, it's gone back to straight. And there's a guitar.
Yep, now click the guitar. Smelly cat, smelly cat.
Yep.
See it? Is it singing it?
Okay, so that just
Yours
played Smelly
sings
Cat
it.
for me.
Oh.
Yep. Just for copyright, we'll be deleting that.
No!
So after editing, you guys will have heard some silence in there, but Emma just played the Smelly Cat theme, which we don't have the copyright permission to play.
Sorry.
So you heard silence instead. All right, who else is in there?
Do Rachel, friends.
No, I want to do Chandler.
Oh, yeah, Chandler.
Bing. There is an armchair. And it's a duck and a chicken. I like it. What about Joey? Joey. Oh, and they're still going. This is a long little thing. Pizza. I like this. All right, now lastly,
Go Monica.
Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, Rachel.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Monica. She hasn't got one.
Yeah, she does.
No, she doesn't.
She does.
It's not there.
Really?
It's not there.
It comes up on mine.
Well, yours
Did you
is-
go Rachel Friends?
No, I typed in Jennifer Aniston.
No,
Duh.
Rachel Friends.
What's her last name?
Green.
Rachel Green. Right, yep. It just took me to a haircut called the Rachel.
Yep.
That was weird. Monica
Geller.
See, I'm in images now, so...
No, what did
And
it
there's
say?
some cleaning stuff.
Yeah. So she was a clean freak.
Cleaned her own name. Well, Emma's just wasted like 5 minutes of everyone's time.
Do you know what I'm really upset about?
What's that?
You know Gunther?
Yes.
They don't have a coffee for him or like his admiration for Rachel.
For Rachel, yeah.
It's a bit boring.
Yeah,
But
well...
Anyhow, I thought you'd enjoy that little bit of
I did. That was cool. So, yeah, so she's got Instagram.
Mm.
Oh, Jen, she's only got 4 posts. When did she join?
A week ago, I think.
And she's got 16.2 million followers.
Yep.
All right, when did we join? May 2018. So we've got 172 followers.
Woohoo!
Regular radio coming up trumps.
Yay!
All we will do is we'll tag Jennifer Aniston, if I can say it correctly, in this just with the hope that maybe she'll like retag. She won't because she's too cool for that, and we suck. So there's every chance that we'll be ignored.
Oh, definitely.
But we'll do it anyway. Fuck it.
Anywho.
Spam Jen.
Yep.
Spam the Anne.
And
Something
say,
like
listen
that.
to regular radio because we are brilliant.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Alright, so lastly, I said that we would go over to a little bit of a side cross, and I want to talk about drug and alcohol use in Australia and the impact on. And this is not really just Australia. I'm just concentrating on the statistics of Australia, but the impact on the health system. And something we were talking about earlier was people we know or people we are aware of that have been in medical care, in hospital or in doctors, things like that, and just lose their shit because they're on crack or ice. Or ice is crack or crack is ice, one of those two things. And same with alcoholics. Like, I'm talking fucking crazy alcoholics.
Yeah.
Not your general run-of-the-mill Joe who's had too many beverages, but people that, drink themselves to obliteration. I have a very strong opinion that I don't think their medical should be covered.
Through
Not on the
Medicare?
second instance.
Yeah, okay.
So first instance, if you OD from taking a pill at a festival, or obviously don't OD, but if you pass out and
If you're a
without
dumbass
the
enough to
care
take
of-
it in the first place, yeah.
if you end up in the hospital needing your stomach pumped,
Yeah.
first time, great. Government should pay for it. Taxpayer happy to fork out for that.
Yeah, but you should learn your lesson from that moment.
You don't learn your lesson? Fuck yeah, pay your own medical bill.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, and same with alcohol. I like
Yeah.
to think, even though alcohol's legal, obviously, there should be the same rules for that. If you can't control yourself to a point where you require medical attention, when there's people that require medical attention that are far more deserving and need it far quicker and have a higher reason for being there,
Yeah.
a more important reason for being there, then you should be fucking left on the side of the road.
Definitely. I would be interested to hear, though, what is your view on rehabilitation centres being funded by the government?
I completely agree with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's okay because people have
still
either
think
put their
people
hand
need
up
help.
for
Yeah,
help
exactly.
or like they've been forced into that situation, which is also a good thing.
Absolutely.
But as long as they're
things
not...
like homelessness and that things are especially associated with drug use and mental health issues, which one comes from the other and vice versa.
Yeah.
Generally the same thing. We don't have enough affordable housing on the coast for those sorts of people, those people that require emergency care or emergency housing. And that's not just for the people themselves, but sometimes families are affected, which is disgusting. And it means we have a rising homelessness issue. And I think the impact on our health system is just ridiculous.
Yeah. Yep. So perhaps what needs to happen, here's Emma solving the world again, is that rehabilitation centres need an emergency care for those that have OD'd or are needing hospital assistance because they have got themselves in a bit of a pickle with alcohol or drugs.
Yep.
And then that way it alleviates our major hospitals.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
that's just left open for people that truly need that assistance from like an actual medical perspective, not just because they've decided to take too many.
This is some old
biscuits.
data. This is 2016 National Drug Strategy Household Survey found that 6.3% of Australians over the age of 14 had used methamphetamine, including ice, speed, or base, whatever the fuck that is. So basically 1.3 million Australians. Now that's people that actually filled it out on a survey.
Yeah, I know.
So let's say that double that easily. Number one, regional Australia, places that don't have access to healthcare, places that don't receive surveys.
People that are illiterate, that don't know how to use
people
technology.
That are currently on ice and didn't get the survey.
Yeah, those that are smacked out on heroin.
Yeah, that's probably closer to 15% of the country. That's a big chunk of people.
Yeah.
As I said, first time, everyone has an issue, everyone makes mistakes, that's fine. But I'm a big believer in if you decide to make that same mistake again, I shouldn't be fucking paying for it.
Yeah.
What I might do is I might put this one up as our Thoughtless Thursday.
I think so. Just FYI, free base base is cocaine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
That's what a base head is then.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scarface, for finally explaining that to me.
Crack cocaine, also known simply as crack or rock, is a free-base form of cocaine that can be smoked. There you go.
Okay. All right.
Why is it called free-base?
Oh, it'll be crack cocaine.
The base form of the drug, drug in its solid form.
So it's probably not the powder, it's the crystally nonsense before they crush it up with other things.
Correct.
I sound like I know too much.
Look, I'm learning all about this because of the book I'm reading at the moment.
Yes. How to take drugs.
Oh, worse, the Heroin Diaries.
Nice.
But just FYI, that is a
there an
Motley
E
Crue.
at the end of that heroin?
No. The Motley Crue kind of year on heroin for Mr. Nicky Six. So.
Sicky Nicks.
Yeah. So.
Well, I think that's all we've got to throw around. We've been chatting for like 25 minutes, so
as we do.
That's enough for people to deal with. We'll be back next month. But aside from that, let's get back to the music.
Leaders. Now we're going to shift to something a little darker. This is Arrows Against Lightning with Servitude. Get your air guitar and drums out for this next track by From the Grave with Crucible. Let's slow it down now with Khashoggi and her song, It Doesn't Matter.
So you're leaving home. Guess you're out there on your own. doesn't matter. You're drifting through life in the days, trying to exude color in the gray. They thought this was what you wanted, so consumed by feelings. Well, it doesn't matter. Uncertainty, no matter where you turn, trying to please, seeking solace in the end. None of this was what you wanted, so consumed by feelings. Well, it doesn't matter. So consumed by feelings. Well, it doesn't matter.
Set the mood with Stephanie Das and her song Waiting.
You and me, it's been a while, taking time out just to see you smile. You and I, no time flies, ain't got time for wasting it on pretty lies. You know we fight, and it ain't right. Let's turn this around, we can make it right. You know you got to do it, I'll be there just to see you through it. I've been waiting, baby. I've been waiting so long for you to come right to me. I know you've been scared, baby, but you ain't gotta worry. You know how I've been feeling. You know you're gonna lose this. You gotta get right to it. If you want it, baby, then you better step up to it. In all my days, I'll give you praise, but time after time we go our separate ways. Let's work it out, this little thing. Don't be scared, I'll say yes, give me a ring. Don't let it pass, this good thing. You know I'm like your mic when you wanna sing. You know you got to do it, I'll be there just like I said. You know you gotta do this. I've been waiting, baby. I've been waiting so long for you to come right to me. I know you've been scared, baby, but you ain't gotta worry. You know how I've been feeling. You know you're gonna lose this. You gotta get right to it. If you want it, baby, then you better step up to it. Baby, 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 baby. I know you've been scared, baby, but you ain't gotta worry. I've been waiting, baby. I've been waiting so long for you to come right to me. I know you've been scared, baby, but you ain't gotta worry.
Hey regulars, today we're at Felons Brewery in Brisbane for their Beers on the Lawn Festival, and we are speaking with their marketing manager, Dean Romeo. Welcome to Regular Radio.
Thank you very much. How are we all doing?
Very good on this sunny day. A little dusty from last night. Doing all right. How about yourself?
I know one trick how to get you back on board.
Keep riding.
If you're still drunk.
That's it. Keep riding the wave.
Yeah, I'm doing great. It's an awesome day down here at the Wharves for our Beers on the Lawn Festival. So we're at day 2 of that. We've just literally kind of set up all the bars from all the local breweries, and our fire truck, which has been converted into a beer truck, is pouring beer.
So is that organised by you guys, or is it the Hammersmith Wharves that put it on?
So the Beers on the Lawn Festival is like a Howard Smith Wharves initiative, and I just help the guys because I know a lot of the...
And I was going to say, it's very generous for another brewery to go, all of you can come here.
Yeah, totally. Well, you know, there's not really a sense of competition in the beer industry on our level. I think it's all about a rising tide floats all boats, which is cool.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
Good analogy for where we are.
Yeah.
So that should be the...
We don't want the water to rise too high, because we might go under like a few years ago. But yeah, rising tide floats all boats.
Yeah, like it. So, how did you guys start Felons Brewery?
Okay, cool. Well, that's it's a pretty big question, really, because it's been such a long time in the making. So, a lot of our development to get to a point of even opening has been probably about 5 years in the making. With one of our directors, Adam Flaskers. So he went to school and was mates with a gentleman by the name of Jasper Cuppage. And Jasper went and moved over to the UK and set up a little brewing company over there called Camden Town Brewery, which is pretty well known around the world now. And Adam from afar just seen how successful Jasper was at it and how cool of an idea it was to have your own brewing company and to serve brewery fresh beer for the people.
Yeah.
So that, I think, really encouraged Adam to, I guess, see if there was an opportunity in Brisbane to create a brewery for the local community. So yeah, talking about 5 years ago from that initial kind of idea. Howard Smith Wharves is a 9-acre precinct, so as you guys and most listeners might be aware, it's been an underutilised space for years, far too long, and the council were looking at people to build a proposal to develop the 9 acres. And Adam pulled together a team of partners, and they built a proposal around being quite respectful of the landscape and the river and the cliffs, and creating an entertainment and lifestyle precinct for Brisbane. And the council loved that, so they kind of gave them the tick. So that was all about 5 years ago, and then it was just one step after another, funding the project and getting all the right people in place to get us where we are now. So when it comes to Felons, we like to consider ourselves as like the loud beating heart of the whole precinct. So, and a lot of people might not know this, but we've got a really interesting story behind the name Felons. So way back in 1823, there were 4 gentlemen. It was March 21st. In 1823, and they were based down in Sydney, so they were convicts at the time. And they each were given a ticket of leave that basically told them that they were now free men. So the first thing that these gentlemen wanted to do was to jump on a boat and go fetch some wood. They called it cedar. So they jumped on this boat. They were heading south from Sydney to Illawarra. They sighted land, and all of a sudden the weather completely turned, and they got blown right out to sea, and they ended up lost at sea for about 21 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and unfortunately they didn't have enough supplies, obviously, to cater for that kind of experience. So one of them unfortunately passed away, and 3 of them ended up eventually shipwrecked up north here on an island that we know now as Moreton Island. And it was there that they met some of the local Aboriginal folk, and there's this beautiful tale about how they learnt to live off the land and understand their culture. But really, for these three guys, it was only a matter of time before they were going to, pass away. So, they kept trying to make their way back across to the mainland because they knew they were on an island. So this was like 8 months that they were trapped on Moreton Island.
Yeah.
And around that time, I think it was around November, October 1823, this ship sailed by and they were furiously flagging this ship down. And on that ship was John Oxley, so the person that's responsible for naming Brisbane after Lord Brisbane. And he's seen these three guys, I think it was two at that point, because one of them went and decided to kind of do his own thing.
Yeah.
He's seen these two guys, got them on board, and they were telling John Oxley about their last 8 months, and they told him about the mouth of the river that they discovered.
Yeah.
And I guess for Felons, we loved the idea that they were kind of the unsung kind of discoverers and founders of the Brisbane River and Brisbane, and it was only really through their spirit of adventure and discovery that they did that.
That's so cool.
So we love the adventure and discovery piece. We try to brew every beer with that whole kind of idea in mind. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
What a cool little tale to tie into everything that's happening here, because it really is an all-inclusive space, and that you are on a bit of a journey from the moment you come down the lift from this side of the entrance there, and then just walking through, like, you get the whole part of the city, and like you're just nestled underneath the Story Bridge, and it's just I think that's really cool.
It is truly a world-class precinct and area. I've been pretty fortunate. I've been in beer for the last 10 years and in wine 5 years before that, and I've worked for some incredible breweries in Fremantle in Western Australia, Little Creatures, which is an amazing area. Then I moved to Geelong, and I helped those guys set up the Geelong Brewery, and that was in a 100-year-old wool mill.
That's really cool.
I've been to Adelaide, been to Sydney, and I've only been in Brisbane since June last year, 2018. This site just caught me straight off the bat. I was like, this is incredible.
It's magical.
Especially with the Story Bridge, like that cantilever bridge being one of the longest in the Southern Hemisphere. I think it really is such a cool draw card, and the fact that we're just down under it.
It's really
pretty
cool.
special.
Yeah, I think so, definitely. Yeah. So tell us a bit about the beer that you guys brew on site. How much do you actually brew here?
Lots. So we've got a pretty state-of-the-art brewing facility. It's a 25 hectoliter, so that's 2,500 litres for those playing at home.
Yep.
A semi-automated steam-powered brew house. So that's a 4-vessel brew house. And then we've got around 13 to 15 fermenting tanks and a few bright beer tanks. And we are going to go kind of down in history, I guess, in the Australian industry as the brewery that ran out of beer. Because we ran out of beer probably about 2 months after throwing the doors open for the first time.
Oh my gosh.
We were just so overwhelmed at how well Felons was received by the local community that we just couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
So that was crazy.
Yeah.
Obviously you don't want that to kind of happen, but it was also like not the worst scenario in the world.
Exactly, yeah.
So it was a great opportunity to showcase some other local beers and to get a few extra tanks in so we could eventually catch up. So since then, we've been pretty good at keeping on top of everything. Our 4 tanks that you see behind the bar when you come down to Felons, they're generally poured brewery fresh beer straight. So the beer that you get from the tap is straight from those tanks behind the bar.
I noticed that the tanks are named.
Yeah, so they're named after the 4 Felons.
Oh, that's really cool.
So Pamphlet, Parsons, Thompson and Finnegan.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, so we thought we'd just give them a little tip of the hat.
Yeah, I love that.
It's a pretty... we haven't really been able to get any of our beer off-site just yet because we're very passionate about becoming one of the bigger regional breweries, and then eventually a national brand and brewery. But yeah, we've just been inundated pretty much for the last 11 months just trying to keep up with this site.
Yeah, and that's a good problem to have, really.
Yeah.
Selling too much beer.
Yeah, there's a lot of upside around freshness and stuff as well. Like beer's best drunk when it's really fresh.
Yeah, definitely.
And should always be kept cold, so...
Actually, how do you go with the climate? And obviously brewing in kind of, well, I guess it's more of an industrial building with a commercial feel.
Yeah.
But how do you go with like climate control? We're obviously coming into summer.
Yeah.
And brewing at 40 degrees is never a good idea.
Yeah, well, Brisbane gets really hot and sweaty in the middle of summer. So obviously, like to your point, we're based in a 1935 wharf storage building that we haven't really done a lot to. It's a beautiful building. You can't really source hardwood like that anymore, so we've purposely tried to expose all of that and just keep it how it was. But yeah, it means that we're exposed to the elements, that's for sure, so it gets really hot in there. From a brewing perspective, that's all controlled by glycol jackets. Each tank has a glycol jacket around it that keeps the temperature exactly where we want it. So as long as the glycol unit's like keeping it the right temperature, we're all happy.
Can I borrow one for my house? Because at the moment I can't homebrew because it's gotten too hot and I don't have a fermenting fridge. And I'm like, how am I going to get around this without getting a fridge? And I sort of thought, I have seen, not glycol necessarily, but people doing air cooling and is it nitrous that they cool with as well? Not the nitrous, dry ice type thing. Yeah. All really for the sake of me not being bothered buying a fridge just to put a keg in and ferment. But you look at it on a big scale and go, how do these guys do that?
Yeah. So like from a people perspective, there's definitely like a cycle of you walking in and out of the cool room that you need to do. Just to keep sane throughout those hot days.
Definitely.
But that's obviously what's so special about Brisbane as well. So you got to kind of embrace it. And I mean, obviously being on the Brisbane River, there's some nice gentle breezes that come through. Sometimes a little bit forceful, but in summer it's generally quite pleasant.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So how many different types of beer/cider do you guys actually brew?
Yes, so we have like a range of core beers and a core cider. So we've got our crisp lager, our natural ale, our local session ale, which is a lower alcohol beer. We've got our Australian pale ale, our IPA as our core lineup of beers, and then we've got our sunny sparkling apple cider. So that's kind of the six mainstays. And then in and around that throughout the year, we've got a pretty little dynamic innovation calendar. So we will always play around with some local ingredients or explore a beer style that the brewers are really excited about. So we'll generally have maybe 1 or 2 limited releases on tap.
I was going to say I could see you growing some hop vines up the cliffs. That would be quite a cool...
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. We had some hop plants and we were trying to find the best place to position them because they need a lot of daylight. And this site doesn't have, which is as crazy as it sounds, it doesn't have the exact conditions that you need to grow hops really well. And it's not pristine hop growing territory, Brisbane either. But it's on the board.
Little screws, put them up the top of the cliff and run some wires down, and that's really cool.
Yeah, hop farms are incredible. What an incredible ingredient hops are to work with, to have something that's from the same family as cannabis, that has this alpha acid that creates bitterness in beer, but also creates these beautiful fruity kind of aromas and flavors is a bit of a mind boggle.
So out of the types of beer that you mentioned, those 5 and even the cider, what is the most popular amongst the patrons?
Okay, cool. So the people of Brisbane really like lager. And I can see why, because it's such a beautiful, crisp, refreshing style of beer. A beer that you can, you don't have to think too hard about.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because lagers are one of the hardest beer styles to brew because they are so clean and crisp. If you kind of muck one up, it just sticks out a little bit. So lager, to answer your question, our crisp lager is the most popular beer at the moment. But the Australian Pale Ale is pretty close by in second place. And that's, that celebrates all the hard work that our farmers do in Australia from a malt and a hop perspective. So it's all Australian malts and hops.
That's really cool.
The malt that we use in that beer is just grown on the border of New South Wales and Queensland, and it's processed in Pinkenba, which is about a 20-minute drive from here. So it's really nice to be able to keep that local.
That's really cool. That's really, really cool. And how do you feel about craft beer being described as a fad?
Well, to me that just sounds absolutely ludicrous, right? Because I've been in beer for the last 10 years and I've seen firsthand how far the industry has come in that time, let alone what it did in the 20 years before that with brands like Matilda Bay and Little Creatures starting in the year 2000. So yeah, it's definitely not a fad. Not a fad.
What about the styles though? Like obviously, I was saying to Em on before, like a lot of beers are, for example, milkshake IPAs and biscuit. That I just go.
Yeah, well, Soapbox have a biscuit.
Yeah, I saw that on the way through. I was like, okay, like sours for me were difficult to get used to, and then once I got used to it, I'm like, I love sours. Like your Mandarin one you had a few months ago, like that was amazing. And I smashed that. That was great. And it was something I just went, all right, I'll try it, knowing that realistically a sour is basically just a beer you've made go off on purpose. And they taste great. But
sour beers.
Yeah.
So sour beers, and this is a really good, interesting space to talk actually, because craft beer itself is a very kind of broad brushstroke of what the industry is kind of like. So there's definitely a movement to talking more about independence over craft, because then there's a measurement, I guess, there around who owns kind of what, and you can see some transparency. Craft beer really just means beer that's brewed with flavour, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can be large and you can be a craft brewery. There's no parameters that you need to work within. But then when you talk about styles, there's definitely styles that are fads. So milkshake IPAs, who knows whether that's going to continue to go to skyrocket. Sour beers is a really interesting one. They have definitely got a space as like a mainstay, and I think what makes sour beers work so well is they start to resonate with people that drink wine normally or just drink cider. It's because it's got that higher kind of acidity in the beer. It can be quite refreshing and cleansing.
In Queensland, when it's hot out here, you can imagine people would be right into that sort of thing. So
and 9 times out of 10, whenever I show a sour beer to somebody that says that they have never liked drinking beer and but they do like wine, that's the kind of beer style that they can get around generally. But yeah, we'll do fruit sour. We call that kind of like a seasonal release. So we take fruit that's available to us from Queensland farmers. So like the mandarin sour was back in just at the start of winter when mandarins were coming in. And then we've got a charcoal pineapple sour that we've got in the wings for our first birthday party. So we're nearly a year old.
That's awesome.
On the 22nd of November, we're going to release the charcoal pineapple sour. So one's going to be an interesting one.
Might need to come back to that one.
Yeah, that's fine. Everyone should come to our first birthday.
Think so,
it's going to be a hoot.
What about dark and heavies? Have you got any dark and heavies in the go?
Yeah, absolutely. So we brewed our first stout, would have been, I think, in June, our Imperial Stout. So we pushed the brew house to the limits with that one. So that ended up coming out at 10.5%. We just basically said, hey guys, let's just push this thing and see what we can get. So it was really rich, had this kind of like smoky char kind of undertone. Very approachable still, like it had all those flavours, but very drinkable and balanced. which is a bit dangerous, being 10.5%. And we've even put some of that away in some bourbon and rum barrels, just to see how it fares in a barrel. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. How many brewers do you actually have? We saw one just before.
Yeah. That was Matty. He's come down to enjoy beers on the lawn. So we've got a team of, I think it's maybe 9 now in total. There's Tom, our head brewer, and then a couple of senior brewers. And then we've got a few of the cellar hand guys. So it's about 9, I think.
Good little crew.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Have you thought about selling your stuff as kits to people? A lot of breweries now are selling like a fresh work kit for people that want to have a crack at your beer at home. And obviously, like myself as a home brewer, one of my friends whose birthday we were at last night, I don't know what brewery he goes to, but it's in Brisbane. He just buys that religiously. So that beer we drank last night was a fresh work kit from a brewery, and he did a pretty good job putting it together. But realistically, it's you guys that do the hard work, and it sort of gives that accessibility to people that want to do the homebrew side of things, but still get a reasonably professional product.
Yeah, of course. I mean, to have my diplomatic hat on, we would probably only ever do it if there was a way to ensure like the utmost quality and ensure that translation of how our beers should taste would make it through.
You want to keep the positive experiences going.
And to be honest, it's kind of out of my league. That would be like a brewer's kind of, like Tommy the head brewer would probably have to take that in his wing if that was an option. But I love the concept, and it's proven to work. Like Cooper's obviously.
Coopers are huge with it. All In Brewing, I'm not sure where they're based, but their work kits are huge. I think they're like $44 for a 25 litre kit.
That's great.
Pour it in, add your water and add your yeast, and off you go.
Yeah, that's awesome. Who doesn't want to home brew a beer?
It's too much work for me. I'd rather come here and enjoy the view.
No, see, I like it because I can brew a beer that I go, I can do better, and I like to improve on things, but then I can come here and go, finally I can have a beer I don't have to think about what do I have to do to make it better. Someone's done it for me.
That's too cool. So you guys do beer yoga on a Monday, I think. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Oh, well, beer yoga is just amazing. So we've got the extremely talented Nina Lee from a local yoga studio. So she comes down and she just walks everyone through a yoga session. It's called Vinyasa Flow Style Yoga. Or Vinyasa, I should. Vinyasa, thank you. And everyone's encouraged to grab a beer, and she works it into the session. Goes for 45 minutes. It's free. You just have to bring your own mat and just join in on the fun. And it's been awesome. It's almost got like a bit of a cult kind of following now, which is cool.
I get like full on dizzy from a vinyasa flow, so I can imagine I'd be pissed by the end of it, I think, just from one beer.
Well, she's like, I think it's definitely a hybrid kind of style session, do you know what I mean? So there's obviously a lot of beginners and experienced people, so she caters it so it's really approachable for everyone.
Cool.
I feel like you do it with anything. Like you could have beer-ditation, like meditation with beers as well. You could just bring beers into anything, basically, and better.
And you should.
That's it.
On the lawn with strangers.
That's really cool.
It's absolutely amazing. So that's just held down on our lawn near our like fish and chipper. Every Monday at 5:30.
That's really cool.
Speaking of your fish and chipper, do you have any recommendations for lunch? Because we're going to go get some food after this.
Oh man, yes, I do. And I couldn't even tell you one thing. That the menu that we have at Felons is pretty awesome. We've got some really skilled chefs behind it. So we focus predominantly on wood fire pizzas. And the pizza dough is proved with our Australian pale ale during the kind of fermentation process, which is really cool. And
have you thought about reusing your barley and that and making some like beer bread?
Yeah, we have, absolutely. Yeah, so we host like 4 seasonal feast kind of beer dinner concepts a year, and the winter feast, which was the last one that we had, Patrick Friesen, our executive chef, created a spent grain bread that we served with like a terrine, which is awesome. But yeah, so the menu, wood fire pizzas are amazing. There's delicious like cheeseburger, spicy fried chicken burger. There's some really nice healthy bowls. So for us, when we were developing the concept of Felons, we wanted it to be respectful of the past, but also really embrace how we're eating these days, and all the delicious produce, and not tampering with it too much. So there's some really nice light, fresh, crisp salads, and there's a beautiful skirt steak on the menu, which is on some flattened potatoes, which is tasting really good. So there's a poke bowl, which is served out of the fish and chipper, which is pretty unheard of at a brewery to have a poke bowl. So
that's really cool.
Yeah, it's an awesome menu.
And then lastly, if anyone wants to know more about Felons and how to get here, where's the best place to find all the details?
Yeah, cool. So we live in a land of digital these days. I mean, our biggest asset's obviously the venue, so we encourage all to come down and get amongst the action and enjoy the magic of beer with us.
Definitely.
So we're based at 5 Boundary Street, which is the Howard Smith Wharfs precinct, and we're just down under Story Bridge. Our website is always a really good place, and our Instagram and our Facebook. So our website's felonsbrewingco.com.au, and our Instagram handle's @felonsbrewingco, and same with our Facebook handle.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool bananas. Thank you so much for having us today.
My pleasure. Thanks for coming down.
Yeah.
If only I wanted to have another beer.
That's awesome. Thank you. Get those spoons out and enjoy the late starters with Oh Ho.
Equestrian, or live twice and thrice in an alpine dream. Tempting forward, you can't jump in for. Welcome forward, a cheeky grin. A visual vein of a national power flows freely and powerfully every hour. Southern saint of a clean cream team sees a crystal sky with those folks scream. Oh how I so blue. 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 A feeding stream from a southern lake is daily life for the fish we take. Pleasure landscape and pleasure crafts, they see one slice boarding up. When hops and doves and Father Jew, they did so from a glacial view. Ritual banners like lead brown, shining light of Mackenzie country. Oh how I so blue. 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 I don't wanna get caught in the water with you. I don't wanna get stuck in the water with you. I don't wanna get caught in the water with you. I don't wanna get stuck in the water with you. Oh how I so blue. 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 So blue, so blue. So blue, so blue.
Next up is Craig's favourite Gold Coast duo, Atlamer's Muse. Enjoy their song, Where Is My Phone?
Where is my phone? Where is my phone? I want to call. You say hello. Where is my phone? I want to call you, call you. I want to say I like you. I want to say I miss you. Oh, where is my phone? Ooh, I think you're fly. I wanna call you mine. I am ready to play. Oh, I been snapping my cups for you. Won't you hurry and text me? 'Cause I'm waiting here, hoping. Where is my phone? Where is my phone? I want to call. You say hello. Where is my phone? Make me squeal when you send me those reels. You get me hungry to play. Oh, you been flexing your muscles for me. Won't you hurry and text me? 'Cause I'm waiting here gasping. Where is my phone? Where is my phone? I want to call. You say hello. Where is my phone?
We welcome back Jeff DeBruce with what sounds like the perfect song for an intro to a TV show. This is Fatal Run. Some beautiful piano in this next track by Ambition Road. This is Missin' Gypsy.
Understand her reasons for wanting to break free. Ooh, there ain't no shame in crying. She's leaving, missing gypsy, she's gone.
Oh yeah, this is Derek J. Turner with I'll Give It All to You.
Oh yeah. to you.
Something a little different now from Matt Glitzy with Teach You Right.
Call me crazy as long as you know that I do it right. You can call me crazy only if you wanna bait me, cause you're just my type. You can put it on me if you wanna show me all you got in store. And I can put it on you if you really want to, but don't call me. Are you goth? Are you punk? Are you emo? Are you drunk? Are you everything that comes to mind? Are you goth? Are you punk? Are you emo? Are you drunk? Are you everything? Are you my type? If you got them tattoos, if you got them how-tos, you might just be my type. And maybe if you're okay, you gotta learn the hard way. I gotta teach you right. Gotta teach you right. If you're just my type, gotta teach you right. If you're just my type. Have to make a preacher curse. Eyes rolled back, make you feel the worst. If you play the cards right, we could rock it all night. Show you who's well versed. You can put it on me if you wanna show me something that you can't ignore. And I can put it on you if you really want to, keep you begging back for. Are you goth? Are you punk? Are you emo? Are you drunk? Are you everything that comes to mind? Are you goth? Are you punk? Are you emo? Are you drunk? Are you everything? Are you my type? If you got them tattoos, if you got them how-tos, you might just be my type. And maybe if you're okay, you gotta learn the hard way. Gotta teach you right. Gotta teach you right. If you're just my type, gotta teach you right. If you're just my type. Just my type. Maybe if you're okay, if you're okay. Just my type. You gotta learn the hard way, learn the hard way. Just my type. Gotta teach you right. If you got them tattoos, if you got them how-tos, you might just be my type. And maybe if it's okay, you gotta learn the hard way. Gotta teach you right. Gotta teach you right. If you're just my type, gotta teach you right. If you're just my type, gotta teach you right. If you're just my type, gotta teach you right. If you're just my type.
Well, that wraps up this podcast. What do you reckon, JD?
Rap is an excellent term.
Yes, definitely. I think we made you guys listen to about 27 artists this month. I think
Made them.
Yeah.
So nice of you to talk about our bands and artists that way. Listen to our music or die.
Basically, like, all of our artists are amazing. I did say that, but that's cool. So if you are looking for any more information, where do they go, JD?
The website would be an excellent start. www.regularradio.com.au.
And let's not forget our socials. Make sure you go to Facebook, Instagram, and everything else and look up Regular Radio Podcast.
We have everything else?
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever goes. Just look for us if you will find us.
Yes, you will find us. Maybe not in Google, but
no,
the dark web.
We are on Google.
We are?
We are. Regular Radio Podcast. Yeah.
I better check that shit out.
We're on Google.
You better check it out too. Don't forget.
If it's not regular,
it's not radio.